Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gary, and if you have been following me for consistently for the past 2 to 3 months, you have seen me talking about CCR projects, particularly in Great Wall. Even in my previous video about Promenade Peak analysis, right? What are some attributes of Great Wall? And then eventually leading on to today, the topic will be, and most of them also ask me or want to find out between these two launches that's coming up in this month. Okay, is either Promenade Peak or Rivergreen, which is actually better. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about this. I think one or two of my viewers actually link up with me also and they want to find out more. So I think I should do a content on this and at least give you some clarity of which do you think is a better choice for you. Of course, there's no definite answer. It really depends on what you like or what you feel most important when you visit the show flat. And most importantly, also, I've done this after viewing the show flat the day before. So I think I can give you a bit more information, a bit more understanding about each developers' intent behind each project. Okay, but before that, let me share with you guys a new ebook that I just came out with because I'm running campaigns on Facebook regarding upgrading, be it from your current 2 or 3 bedroom condos to a bigger place, or from your HDB 4 room, 5 room, 3 room to a bigger condominium. I have this ebook up for offer. It actually details the upgrading journey, and there are some case studies that maybe you can benefit from it. So if you are interested to get this ebook from me, my link is down in the description below. Just feel free to send me a WhatsApp and I'll send you this ebook. Okay, without further ado, let me touch on today's topic. So is it Promenade Peak better or is it Rivergreen better? Both are within minutes of each other, and both is going to launch on the same weekend as well. So there's a bit of a tough fight. Consumers might be a bit concerned on which is a better pick. So how do I structure today's comparison? I think number one I'll do is the location and convenience. Then number two, we talk about the facilities because I have viewed the show flat, right? It's a preview for the agents. Okay, then number three, we can talk about the developers. What are the difference? Then on top of that, number four, we'll talk about the unit type, layout differences, and my pick for it. Okay, and then number five, compare a bit about the estimated prices, a bit of my wishful thinking of what kind of prices, and also gathering some information that I hear during the show flat preview that I have seen. And finally, I'll give a conclusion of which I feel is a better choice. And it also depends on what you are looking for. Okay, so stay tuned at 6 where I have my conclusion on it. Okay, first we talk about is the location. Obviously, they are within minutes to each other. So what is a drastic difference between Promenade Peak and Rivergreen? So I have actually further classified it a bit more. Okay, so for Promenade Peak, we actually have the choice to go into the Great Wall as well as the Havelock MRT. Whereas for Rivergreen, you are strictly stick to Great Wall MRT. So in terms of choice of MRT, I think Promenade Peak offers you a different, an additional station like Havelock, for example. If you want to, which I'll talk about later, if you want to go towards Tiong Bahru area, you can actually exit at Havelock. So this, I think, is one of the a bit of a difference. Rivergreen being rather nearer to Singapore River, the Great Wall station, as compared to Promenade Peak, which is in between Great Wall and Havelock. Okay, so in terms of being near to the Great Wall Mall, I feel that Promenade Peak is definitely a nearer plot. As you can see that it's just right across the road to Great Wall Shopping Mall, as compared to Rivergreen, which you actually have to take the underpass. It's a bit of a walk. I tried before because I used to have a listing at Irwell Hill Residence, and if it's a sunny afternoon, it's actually quite a bit of a traffic that you have to cross. So most of them would likely take the MRT underpass to get to Great Wall Shopping Mall. Okay, in comparison, if we talk about primary school as a comparable, Promenade Peak is actually within 1 kilometer to 2 primary schools, namely Alexandra Primary, which is an upcoming primary school in the Red Hill Queenstown area, as well as River Valley Primary School. Whereas for Rivergreen, you are only within 1 kilometer to River Valley Primary School. What does this imply or means is that at least if you are at Promenade Peak, I think people coming from the Queenstown Red Hill upgraders, they can also consider if their kid is already at Alexandra Primary School, or if they're targeting to go into Alexandra Primary School but they couldn't find a condo within 1 kilometer at Queenstown or Red Hill that is close enough. So I think this is one important point to take note. And next is Zion Food Center. I mean, as I have mentioned, why Great Wall is interesting because of the old world charm. You know, you are near Zion Food Center, you are near Tiong Bahru Food Centre, and definitely Promenade Peak has a better distance or closer to these two food centre as compared to Rivergreen. Okay, but of course, if we talk about being near Singapore River, then I think Promenade Peak has not so much of an advantage. It is slightly further, whereas for Rivergreen, it is just doorstep to the Singapore River. If you ask me in terms of location-wise, I would choose Promenade Peak over Rivergreen because of certain attributes like at least there's two MRT exits that I can choose from nearer to the shopping mall, and most importantly, also it is within 1 kilometer to two primary schools, which widens or rather it widens your future pool of buyers in case you're going for a family size unit or a bigger unit selection. So if you ask me for location wise, I think Promenade Peak sits nicely on a plot of land that is rather convenient and well located. Okay, so for number 2, if we were to look at facilities, okay, I'm not going to go through so much of what are the listed facilities. I'm sure you can watch other videos to find out more about what are the facilities involved. But if you can see just from my slide, right, Promenade Peak easily has level 1, it has level 22, it has level 43, and it also has a sky peak with an infinity pool for the facilities. Whereas for Rivergreen, it is mostly on the first level, having one more at the roof terrace. So if you ask me, this is also attributed from the plot ratio that is assigned to Promenade Peak at 5.6 versus Rivergreen at 3.5. So even though both of their land size is quite similar, Rivergreen being just a bit bigger, whereas the gross GFA at Promenade Peak is 560,012 versus Rivergreen being at 350,119. So significantly, obviously, Promenade Peak can allow you to have more facilities, more choices, and after viewing the show flat of the two, I feel that Promenade Peak, the developer has a bit of more thought process in terms of trying to be a bit more forward thinking in their choices of facilities. For example, they have a pickleball court, which I have mentioned in my previous video. I also found out that they are also into hybrid CrossFit gym kind of lifestyle at the wellness peak where the gym is located. And finally, I think the most interesting thing is to be able to have an infinity pool at the sky terrace or sky peak, which is a very interesting concept that I don't think you can find something similar within Great Wall MRT or River Valley this area for such a comparison. I think for sure Promenade Peak will stand out easily as compared to Rivergreen. Okay, so if you ask me, definitely I think if you are a person that is going to buy for own stay, you also want to have a very nice gesture when you do your housewarming, when you collect keys, right? Or you are an investor and you want to attract a tenant pool that is that takes facilities into consideration, and then that sets you apart from the newer TOPs like like Avenia, like the older condos like Cosmopolitan or Trillium. I think Promenade Peak represents a very interesting value proposition in terms of its facilities. So if you ask me again, 2 out of 2, Promenade Peak still is my top choice in terms of the facilities. Okay, if you look at number 3, in terms of developer and finishing, okay, so I have seen the show flat obviously, so I can roughly describe a bit of the finishing. But let's look at the developer first. So the developer, number 1, is for Promenade Peak is All Green Properties. And if you have followed my previous video also, I've mentioned that All Green also owns Great Wall City, and their HQ, if I'm not wrong, is also situated at Great Wall City. So essentially, I feel that this is actually a trophy project for them to showcase their ability as a developer in terms of commercial, in terms of residential. And I think this would be a very nice model for them to give confidence to consumers, or even if they have overseas visitors, right, they can show that, you see, right across from us, this is my trophy project. It's called Promenade Peak, also developed by us. And like I mentioned previously also, I probably think that they have been waiting for this plot for a very long time, because this plot has been sitting there ever since the demolish of the HDB block that used to be on Promenade Peak itself. Whereas on the other side, Rivergreen, not too bad. Wing Tai has been a long-standing developer in Singapore since the 90s. So they have been very popular doing projects. And I have seen Wing Tai's end product. They are very well furnished, well finished. I feel that they have also a very good thought process in terms of their color scheme, in terms of the way they ID'd the house, and in terms of the quality, because I have firsthand seen the garden residences, and I recently went to see the M. I feel that they have a very good touch in terms of the ID finishes. And obviously River Green will have also something similar in terms of the landscaping. If you have been to the M, if you have been to Lake Gardens residences, if you have been to Gardens residences, so that would be something similar that Wing Tai is trying to recreate at River Green. Whereas for Promenade Peak, in terms of the finishes, I think this time round, like I mentioned earlier, since it is a trophy project, I feel, for all green properties. So they also poured in a bit of effort into trying to create a bit more premium in terms of their finishing. And in fact, they divided the skyscraper into two parts. We have its collection and the suites. So the more premium product, the suites, will have a bit more luxurious kind of finishing. So if you ask me in totality, in terms of developer and finishing, after my description, if you ask me, of course, I'll pick Promenade Peak for a choice, because literally I think if it's just right in front of your HQ doorstep, you really want to create something that is very memorable and that is very well received even in the resale market down the road. And henceforth, they are the only building, or rather residential, that is 63 stories high in River Valley area, which will stand out. Even if you can see it, I believe, from MBS. If you see it from Alexandra, Queenstown area, I believe you can see it also. And I think that is the trophy mark that they want. So if you ask me in terms of which to pick in terms of developer, of course, Promenade Peak would be my top choice as well. Okay, so 3 out of 3, the deciding factor, I will still pick Promenade Peak. Not being biased or anything, I just feel that after seeing the show flat, as a consumer, if I put myself in the consumer's shoes, I also want to be impressed. So I'm really quite impressed when I go and see the show flat of Promenade Peak and the way they have done up. But of course, having all good, but there are also some shortfalls that I'll describe subsequently in terms of the unit layout. So in terms of the unit layout, right, which is point number 4, I will divide them down into the individual 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 plus study, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms. Okay, to do a bit of comparison. But if you want a thorough layout analysis, feel free to, for sure, I'm sure there's a lot of other videos out there to talk about it as well. So for me, I want to zoom in into what I feel, or which I feel is the better layout in terms of the two. Okay, so if you look at number 1 is the 1 bedroom and 1 plus study comparison. Interestingly, for Promenade Peak, there's only 80 units of 1 plus study. There is no 1 bedroom layouts. It is 527 1 plus study. Whereas in River Green, there is 2 different kinds of layouts. There's 105 units of them, ranging from 420 square feet for a 1 bedroom and 552 square feet for a 1 plus study. So if you ask me, which is better? Number 1, it really depends on your budget. If you are on a bit of the budget constraint and you want to work within a certain price point, I think River Green will give you a bigger option to choose from. You can either work on the 420. If you can't get a choice at the 420, the 452 square feet shouldn't adjust your budget too much. You can get a 1 plus study. So in terms of budget wise, I think River Green and a River Green 1 bedroom and 1 plus study looks pretty attractive. And also, if you look at the layout, I zoom in, I particularly highlighted this part. The kitchen looks enclosable for the 1 bedroom, and the study is actually really a corner and is accessible to the master toilet. And I think this helps to add in some attractiveness to the choice at River Green. However, if I were to look at it on another sense, that I have a bit of budget, I think I will recommend Promenade Peak instead. Okay, because number 1, there is only 80 units of 1 bedroom at Promenade Peak, and the size is very, very comfortable for 527. And eventually I feel that the target audience for people that wants to come and see the resale portion in Promenade Peak highly fall into the category of able to afford, and they want something that is quite sizable. So I think this would tick quite a few boxes if we are turning it around to people that wants own stay. And henceforth, I feel that if your budget allows, Promenade Peak presents an interesting option for the 1+ study. Basically, number one, there's only a limited supply of 80 units out of the 596 units. The size is very comfortable. Okay, so if I were to zoom in, you can see that the entrance to the kitchen, the width is quite generous. Okay, not too much space in the balcony, and most importantly, the master bathroom also comes with a window for natural ventilation, which is very uncommon for most of the one bedroom layouts around River Valley area. And of course, you also have a study area. I think they can also cut it this way to make it more interesting instead of putting the study as well where it's allocated. And then you have a master room that is pretty sizable, queen size bed with 2 bedside tables that you can put in. And I think this layout is very comfortable for own stay, for a couple, or for a single. So in short, if you ask me for 1 bedroom or 1+ study, I will choose Promenade Peak over Rivergreen. But of course, if you are on a budget constraint, you can always make a choice at Rivergreen. Okay, so that is for 1 bedroom and 1+ study. Number 2, let's look at the 2 bedroom layouts. So the 2 bedroom layouts, there is 2 different kinds at Rivergreen. There is one particular kind at Promenade Peak. Not talking about 2 bedroom plus study, that's a later discussion. Okay, so for Promenade Peak, there is only 2 bed, 2 bath. There is no 2 bed, 1 bath layout at all. Whereas for Rivergreen, I have seen the show flat. There is a 2 bed, 1 bath consideration. There is also a 2 bed, 2 bath consideration. Out of this, there's a total of 200 units at Promenade Peak, and then there is 245 units at Rivergreen, a bit more. Okay, then in terms of the sizing wise, of course, Promenade Peak will be a bit more livable space at 657 for the smallest, up to 689. Whereas for Rivergreen, your size is at around 527 and 603 square feet. Okay, so if you ask me, literally, I feel that 2 bedroom, again, if you have the budget, is not so much of a constraint, I would definitely recommend you to look at Promenade Peak, because in terms of even the smallest one, 657 square feet, I feel that the whole space is very livable as compared to if I were to put you at a 2 bed 2 bath 603 square feet, even though it comes with an enclosed kitchen by Wing Tai. Okay, but the space at the dining will be a bit compromised, as I have seen the show flat, especially if I remember correctly, the show model is the 2 bed 1 bath, and the dining area is quite compromised. It is not significantly bigger, and then when they put the dining in the balcony, it also makes the balcony looks a bit of a small. So I think a 527 square feet for a 2 bedroom is really very small as compared to the one at Promenade Peak. So in short, if you were to ask me, I do have also buyers that are looking at which one to pick. I also recommend them which one to choose from. I also recommend them Promenade Peak in such a way for 2 bed 2 bathrooms. Okay, so next, why do I carve out another segment also, 2 bed plus study? Okay, so finally, so when we look at the 2 bed plus study, right? Promenade Peak sits at 764 797 square feet. Whereas for Rivergreen, there's only one layout at 657 square feet, which is the size of the 2 bed 2 bath at Promenade Peak. Okay, so for 2 bedroom layouts at Promenade Peak, there's 120 units of them. At Rivergreen, there's 35 units only. Okay, so I mentioned the size earlier already. So if you ask me in terms of supply, right, I would say that if you really value work from home and you really want to have the study in your place, then I would highly recommend you to look at Rivergreen in such a case, because I feel that the 675 square feet is still reasonable, especially in terms of price point, especially in terms of the supply. There's only 35 units, not easy to get, and of course, I think if only you get a very good queue number, probably you can get it lah. Okay, so if you ask me, a 2+ study at Rivergreen is a lot more attractive. And on top of that, if you look at Promenade Peak, this is quite an unconventional layout. that is not so seen in the resale market so far, or I have not seen enough to see this layout. So which means when you come in at point number one, it is straight away your study area, and this is the actual unit in the show flat you can get to see also. Okay, so straight away come in, you see your study area. Then if you turn right, then you leads to your entrance of your house, the foyer, the kitchen, the dining, and the living. And this makes the whole entrance all the way to the living looks rather long and a bit of a wastage of space, I feel, just to create this study and home environment segregated. I think that is probably the intent of the developer. So I'm not so sure how well this concept is received, because there's no door right after point number 2. If you are following me on the screen, okay, there's no door. It just leads. It's just a hallway foyer leading into your kitchen, leading into a dining and living area. Okay, so not so sure how well this would turn out to be. Okay, so if you ask me, I rather be on the safe side. I don't pick something that is unconventional mostly. Okay, but of course, if you feel that you need a bigger space, because just now when we look at Rivergreen, it is 657 square feet versus 764 square feet. At Promenade Peak, you get 100 square feet more, and they are both harmonized plot, which means this 100 square feet more literally goes into the rooms, the living room, as well as the study area. So if you value a bit more space, then I think it is fine for you to go for Promenade Peak. And else, if not, I think Rivergreen 2+ study is an attractive option that everyone should be looking at. Okay, so moving on my fourth point on the unit layout, now we go into the 3-bedroom comparison. Okay, so 3-bedroom comparison, hands down, if you are on a budget and you want to work within your budget and you want to buy within one name, I think hands down you look at Rivergreen, because this is probably the most efficient 3-bedroom done and tested before in the EC segments that Wing Tai has been doing for Rivergreen, because it fulfills really most of the family nucleus requirements. Why do I say that? Okay, short entrance foyer, home shelter on the left, which is also a storage for you, enclosable kitchen with a window. Okay, there is a proper dining area cut out. Okay, then a living space. This should be around 2.6, 2.7 meters, still reasonable as per standard. Okay, bathroom both comes with natural ventilated windows. Okay, all the bedroom can fit a queen size bed for the 872 square feet. Okay, and the master room obviously should be sizable enough, probably looking at 10 square meters. So I think this would sit on quite a lot of people's budget. And just to mention, some of them might ask me, wow, Gary, so small, 872 square feet, really got people will buy from me next time in the future? Just go and check it out, the recent transaction at Well Hill Residence that I have been waiting for quite a while already, because I have been monitoring transactions at Well Hill Residence. I'm just trying to figure out when or who will actually buy into the 861 square feet 3-bedroom compact in Well Hill, and bam, there's a transaction that happened and it was sold for around $2.6 million. The previous owner made about 400K, quite relatively healthy for a 3+ years, 4 years kind of holding period. So there you are. There are people that will accept this. I feel probably because, number one, it should be in the range of around $2.6 million up to 2.7, depending on the level you're getting. Safely to say, people that move in here, they likely can buy under one name and keep the other name free within the family for another investment unit, and hence such an approach happen. And if you want a bit more justification, that you can also check out Link at Beauty World, which also has 797 square feet 3 bedrooms, which transacted 2 units. And also if I'm not wrong, at Potong Pasir Poise, they have 3 bedrooms that are around 800 square feet that has also transacted before and tested the market before. And if you want to have a bit more discussion on this kind of smaller 3 bedrooms, how it will turn out well in the resale market, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to discuss this with you. Okay, comparatively, why would I say that this is also a bit of an unfair advantage? Because if you look at Promenade Peak, there is only 3 choices of 3-bedroom, if I'm not wrong, for Promenade Peak, that ranges from 1033 square feet and 1076 square feet, which is the normal collection. Then you have the premium collection at 1195 square feet, which is part of the higher floor units. Obviously, at 1195 square feet, it should be sitting at around $3.7 million. So I think this is a different segment altogether. And if you ask me, if you have $3.7 million, I think this is a good layout to consider because it really gives you the space and the luxury that you want, and sitting on top above level 44 45 onwards, right after the wellness deck. So I think that will actually give you a very good view, and henceforth you are paying that premium for it. Whereas if you ask me, Promenade Peak also try to test out a different kind of layout for the 1033 three bedroom 2 bathroom configuration, because right now if you follow me through, number one is the entrance foyer, number two is your living room, which is quite uncommon. It is usually the kitchen on the left side, then the dining on the right, whereas this one they put the living room first and then the dining room, and then the kitchen is alongside the room area and connected to the balcony. So this is quite a untested, unconventional layout. Not so sure how is the take-up rate like in the resale market. And also because of the kitchen, bedroom 3, bedroom 2, it creates quite a fair bit of a hallway, which takes up a bit of space, I feel, because of the way Promenade Peak is being designed, right? They can't do a squarish, but they have to do a L-shaped kind of structure for the 3 bedrooms. If you want to consider something else, I think you can look at the 1076 square feet layout. I think it's a bit more interesting. Unfortunately, as of now, I still don't have the exact clear image layout of the 1076 square feet, but I'm sure on launch day, feel free to ask me in the next 1 week. I'll definitely be able to get the information, and I see that layout is a bit more interesting. Just that price point, again, as compared to 872 square feet, the price range we are looking at is easily, I think, 300 to 400k more for the same level comparison. So if you ask me, for 3 bedroom, if you want to work within a budget, no brainer, Rivergreen. There's only 104 units for you to choose from, and the 872 square feet, 872 and the 883 square feet don't have a lot of units for you to choose from also. Whereas for Promenade Peak, I wouldn't have go for the 1033 square feet for sure. Okay, so finally, on the last part of the unit layout, on 4 bedrooms. Okay, I'm not going to do a 5 bedroom because obviously at Rivergreen there's no 5 bedroom layouts, only at Promenade Peak. So if you look at the 4 bedroom layout, I say that it is really a super unfair comparison. It really serves 2 different groups of people, because at Rivergreen, like I said, this time round, if you have read my first video on why CCR will explode in value, Rivergreen is really testing out really new, most efficient way of describing a small unit, and now they are able to squeeze a 4 bedroom into a 980 square feet below 1000. It has done before. If you look at Sims Urban Oasis, there is a 990 4 bedroom layout that is pre-harmonized, which means that if you consider harmonization, it is also probably smaller than this. So there is such a layout happening before. So I think this time around, Wing Tai is really trying to do something different, and yet is the enlarged version of the 872 square feet 3 bedroom with the additional bedroom in between the master and bedroom number 3. Okay, so seemingly both the bedrooms can fit a queen size bed. Okay, there is a opt-in and opt-out option for the closet, because they allow you to combine the master room and bedroom 4 together if you want to. So if you want to find out more, the show flat has exactly such a layout for you to have a look. Okay, so versus if you are looking at Promenade Peak, obviously this serves a very different group of buyers, because this is a 1582 square feet, close to 600 square feet more than Rivergreen, and definitely the pricing we are looking here is way higher than that of Rivergreen as well. That's why I said this is the most unfair comparison. They serve 2 different groups. So if you have the budget for Promenade Peak 1582 square feet, contact me. Maybe we have other options to consider as well at this price point. Okay, so having said this, this is how I look at it. To sum it up quickly, if you're looking at one bedroom, 1 plus study, I feel that Promenade Peak presents a nicer option to stay, to live in, and even if to rent it out, I think it's also easier, because the tenants will come and see that I mean, the ease of rental is more important than to have it vacant. So probably easier for you to get tenants as well. If you look at 2 bed 2 bath, I also feel that it's Promenade Peak. If you're looking at 2 plus study, then we should be looking at Rivergreen. If you're looking at 3 bedroom and you don't mind a compact layout, buying under one name at around $2.6 million, I think Rivergreen presents quite an interesting option. And or if you don't mind, and because 3 bedrooms are also for own stay purpose and you really like the facilities, right, then go for the 1076 square feet of the Promenade Peak. And then for 4 bedroom layout, I think it's a no-brainer. If you have the budget for that of Promenade Peak, I'm sure you can also look at the resale in that surrounding area as well. If you really want to stay at Great Wall area, enjoy the mall, enjoy the lifestyle there, yet you're running on a bit of a budget because you don't want to burst it, okay, so I think the 984 square feet at Rivergreen would sit nicely for you and very useful for your family because it's still a 4 bedroom after all. Okay, so this is how I look at for the unit layout. Finally, I do a bit of a price comparison, estimated price comparison. None of this information is released yet. It is all part of my wishful thinking, learning from one of my managers. Okay, so these are some informations that I say along the way that I captured and I just want to present to everyone. So because if you have been following my previous video on Promenade Peak analysis, I'm talking about a skyscraper kind of effect. So at level 2 versus level 42, there will be a bit of difference in the pricing, and henceforth probably level 2 will be around 2450 PSF up to level 21. Halfway through we are 2950, and level 42 will be 3500 PSF. And this is not considering the higher floor units which are reserved for the premium 3 bedroom 4 bedrooms. Okay, so if you ask me, I think in general sense, if you don't mind the level between 2 to say 10, 15 up to 17, then I think Promenade Peak will be an attractive price point and very comparable to Rivergreen for the 1 bedroom 2 bedroom, as well as probably the 3 bedroom 1076 square feet. However, if you want something that is of a higher floor and you want to be able to if you want something of a higher floor and then you don't mind if you want something of a higher floor and you don't mind the facilities at Rivergreen and you just want to plonk yourself at Great Wall, I think Rivergreen might be a choice for you to consider, because I did an average of 3000 PSF and you can see that the 3 bedrooms for Rivergreen will sit around $2.616 million, which is quite a rare find considering that Irwell Hill just resale transaction 861 square feet is around $2.6 million, which means you're buying a new project at a resale price unseen of for a very long time. Okay, just because recently of the harmonization ruling in Singapore. Okay, so having said this, and now moving on to my final part, the conclusion. Okay, if you have followed me through, you can say that I'm pretty much quite pro Promenade Peak. Okay, so if I were to classify this, I would say that if you are a 1 or 2 bedroom buyer and you are buying for your own stay, okay, or you are a 3 or 4 bedroom buyer with a higher budget, and then if you are an investor that you want to go for rental yield, I think Promenade Peak sits nicely as a good choice for you in this two comparison. Whereas if you are a 2 bedroom plus study buyer, or if you are a 3 bedroom 4 bedroom buyer and you are working within a budget and you only want to utilize one name within your matrimonial family so that you all can have another unit for investment, I think Rivergreen will present a very attractive, efficient offer that is in the market that is unseen of. So don't miss this opportunity. I think such an opportunity in terms of price point, in terms of layout, in terms of the land plots available in Great Wall area is also very limited. So reach out to me, feel free. I'm very happy to bring you to the show flat. If not, stay tuned to my next video and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye.